Thanks so much. Good evening. My name is Andrew Stetner. I'm the Education Chair for the Howard County Autism Society. Thanks for this opportunity to testify. The 2021 school year and the switch to virtual instruction has been especially difficult one for the special education population. We deeply appreciate all the efforts that Dr. Savage and the team at DSC have done to develop novel strategies to help our special education population. But we know that many of our special education students have lost ground this year, and they'll be relying on robust programming to make up for these gaps when schools begin to open for them on March 1st throughout the summer into next year. In this context, we urge the board to adopt a budget that gives the special education team the resources to help the student body catch up from these learning losses during the next school year. While it can feel like a lifetime since our students have been in classrooms, we do remember the significant staffing shortages that impacted the special education population. The lack of trained staff became so acute that the HCA was forced to file a grievance about the inability of the current staff to maintain the safety of their students. And DSC must have the resources in place to train staff, both special and general education, on strategies needed to effectively include students in classes that bring out their best abilities while positively managing behavioral challenges. The $5.4 million increase in the special education budget has been developed as the minimum needed to keep up with the enrollment of students. The majority of this increase, $3.8 million, will go to teachers and para-educators. 33 new positions in the school-age population and 27.5 new positions in the birth to 5-age population. The budget also includes $1 million in increase in non-public school tuition for those students that cannot be adequately served in this district. This item is one way the budget attempts to predict a possibility for compensatory services. These are required by law for students with learning losses, but are still hard to predict at this time. The historic funding of special education in the district has created inequities that still need to be addressed and fall hardest on low-income students and students of color. As part of this commitment to equity, we commend Dr. Moderano for his long-term commitment to address these historical inequities that represent an estimated total of $70 million in unmet needs. It's vital for the board to understand one thing. This budget does not go as far as last year's request. Indeed, the superintendent has requested 40 fewer special education staff in this year's budget, despite a projected growth of 163 students. Think of it this way. The superintendent has already done the board's work for it, reducing this year's budget to what is the absolutely most vital resources for the special education population. We'd like to see more in this budget, more instructional facilitators to support best practices, more reading specialists, more permanent student assistants to anchor the work of educators. But more than other years, significant cutbacks in the budget requests presented to you will be deeply felt by the special education community, compromising the safety and educational progress of our community. Thanks so much for this opportunity to testify.